Through 10 seasons of Brewed, we've traveled the country chasing the stories behind the beer. And this year, season 10 was our biggest and boldest adventure yet.
It's like watching a high wire act or something like.
Tonight, we're going to count down our top 7 moments of season 10. Why 7, you ask? Well, it was just too many for a 6-pack. From NA brews to crafted cocktails, breweries going green, and everything in between. Let's raise a glass to the season that raised the bar on this episode of Brewed. Here's number 7.
Here on Brewed, we love to tell you great places to go, and this is one of those places, and it's called Go. It's Go Brewing in Naperville, and what separates Go Brewing from virtually every other place we've ever had on the show is, Joe, you guys do non-alcoholic beers.
That is all we make.
Exclusively, just non-alcoholic.
Since day one.
That's
our mission.
The mission statement.
That's right.
And it seems like you're putting a product out there where you can fit in, be social, and not have any of the maybe negative aspects of drinking alcohol. Is that close?
Yeah, and the reality is that what separates this from an alcoholic beverage is 1%.
Right.
If you look at our facility, we make beer the same exact way. We don't de-alkalize it. We make the beer, we manufacture it, we let it ferment. We do all of those things just like you would make a regular beer. We just stop it before it crosses the line to be considered alcohol. As far as the packaging goes, our mission is when you're holding that can in your hand, we want it to be a conversation piece.
Right.
We spend a lot of time in art. We spend a lot of time in thinking about the names of our beers, that they're inspired by someone. We're telling stories on the cans. We're, in some cases, like trying to be inspirational, like letting people know that there's folks out there that have done amazing things, and the potential for our life is really limitless.
Like if you didn't know it was non-alcoholic beer, you would just assume that you were at a regular tap room like the hundreds of other ones that we've shown you here on the show. That's a conscious decision to make this feel as much like every other place, right?
Yeah, and you know what's so funny? It's happened. We have a brewery that's across the parking lot here. We've had customers come in here, spend hours in here.
Right.
And I would talk to them about NA, and they would look at me like I was crazy. Come to find out, they thought they were next door.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
So they were like, I wonder why I wasn't getting a buzz. They would invite their friends here. So it is definitely like you cannot tell that you are necessarily in a different setting. And when you have our beer, the idea is you don't really want it to taste much different either. They're going to be a little lighter. There's going to be, like, if you're used to having double IPAs and stouts and 10% drinks, and you have our beer, they're going to feel lighter. Why? Because there's way less alcohol. Alcohol is 7 calories per gram, so you're going to have way less calories.
Number 6.
You're here to tell the story about textile brewing, but specifically, and I know this is something you're very passionate about, all the sustainability initiatives. Was it kind of your idea to go for this gold certification, this green certification?
I don't know if it was totally my idea, but I definitely was a pusher for it. When I started here, I was actually doing an AmeriCorps position, and I was doing like energy audits in Dubuque, which is close by, and I needed more money, so I took up this bartending gig, and the owners noticed that I was very into sustainability and wanted to incorporate some more of those initiatives. I definitely was super excited when I found out that there was the green brewing certification, because I'm like, well, we're already doing so many of these things.
Right.
And it just gave more ideas for more things that we can do as a brewery.
When you're explaining, like, we can go for this,
Yes.
and it's not going to be hard because we're already doing a lot of it, or things that they were already doing.
So, like, one of the huge things, a lot of breweries do this anyway, is just like, the product is made here, which is huge. So that's number one. Also, the LED light bulbs. Also, the amazingly repurposed building, the sewing factory.
Right.
So many of the things were reused from the sewing factory, and also a local artist in town made the lights that are upstairs.
Have you always been someone that cared so much about making sure resources are being properly used?
Yes.
I mean, does this go way back to little tiny Ashley?
Not really. I went to school for art, actually, and when I was doing my senior thesis, I got into this whole world of what's happening to the earth and how we can take care of it better. And my senior thesis was on how we can take care of the earth better, and then it's just kind of went from there. I did the AmeriCorps position, and I did several other jobs.
What does it mean personally when you have an idea like, hey, this is something that's important to me, and you go to the owners and you say, this is something I think we should do, and they say, absolutely, yes, we should do that?
Yeah, it meant a lot, and it's like, honestly, it's kept me in Iowa because I was about to move further away to another state, and I was very inspired to stay around, and I'm like, there's some cool things happening in Iowa, so it meant a lot to me. And yes, moving up I feel like I had some inspiration for the owner to get solar. So I used to work part-time for the Clayton County Clean Energy District as well. And
if you're keeping track, this is the 7th job Ashley has told us about during this interview. You've gotten a lot done.
Lots of little side gigs.
Right on.
Lots of little jobs. Going forward to just this last May, we now have a pollinator garden as well, which is through the Dubuque County Conservation Program. They specifically picked plants that are beneficial for pollinators throughout the entire course of the different seasons. It's not just for one species. It's not just for one season. It's not just for monarchs. It's for many different pollinators. So it makes lots of little bugs happy throughout the entire season, so it's always productive.
And then those bugs pollinate the agriculture, which is so important to our state.
Yes, of course. And we are also really big on using local ingredients as much as possible, so it kind of just all ties hand in hand.
Number 5.
There's so many different aspects of beers that the variables you could change. You could change the hops, you could change the yeast. I grew up playing Pokemon, so these creatures with all their different aspects that help them in certain scenarios and hinder them in others, right, was very attractive to me. It was like these yeasts, they can do different things. They have all their individual characters, and I could have them all myself.
You gotta catch them all.
Essentially.
I've never in my life made the connection between Pokemon and brewing. You even wear your hat backwards like the kid on the cartoon show.
Yeah, and I, Pokemon tattoos.
Of course you do. Tell me about these tats.
Yeah, I got Scyther and Sizer right here.
Okay.
They're a couple of my favorite bug Pokemon. Okay. And then I have Gengar inside of Gengar, so he's got a little nightmare going on. He's a ghost Pokemon.
I'm going to nod and pretend I know what that means, but that's fantastic.
Yeah.
So you're using the Pokemon skills.
Right, and if you notice on some of my fermenters, I have tiny little Pokemon figurines to protect and make sure everything is going well with the beer.
Coming up, more of our favorite moments from Season 10 of Brewed.